Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in the following content belongs to the content creators and not the organization, affiliates, and its employees.
Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
I get dirty thoughts about you. They get worse when I'm without you. Does that mean that I'm going to hell? Or are you thinking them as well? Whoa.
Okay, let's take our test to see if we're narcissistic and have God complexes. Okay, we're going to
we
take
test God complexes?
We need to do the same one.
Yes, so what are we all searching?
I'm not sure. Should one of us just look it up and then send the link on the group?
Okay.
So I search main character complex test, and then there's a BuzzFeed one.
Oh,
yeah,
of course,
send the
BuzzFeed. Yeah. Okay.
So it's, are you the main character, sidekick, antagonist, or love interest? Or side character?
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. Oh, okay. Yeah, the first one that pops up, literally.
Was it posted on the 12th of May?
Yes, 2020.
Cool.
I'll send it right now onto the group, Leía.
I think I have the right one, but I'm not sure because mine says May 13th.
Oh, when you're inside,
when you go into it,
yeah,
it's May 5th.
Oh,
mine
okay.
too. Okay, great. Okay, we're doing the same one. Do one of you guys want to screen record your one, and then we'll just put it on the screen, maybe?
Sure, I'll screen record.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Hi, my answers are going to be seen for the whole world.
No pressure.
Pick a color. Wait.
Would you say you're popular?
Ooh.
Pick a show. Ooh, definitely Gossip Girl. But not the new one. The
No. Okay, the old one, amazing, right? But
yes, I like the new one. I do. I watch it. I really like it, but nothing.
I feel like everyone has to, like, if they're gonna watch it, they can't watch it with the intention of like it's a remake of the original.
Yeah, don't
Those
compare
two
the two.
separate
Don't compare the
shows.
two.
Yeah.
So definitely, because I'm enjoying Gossip Girl. My favorite characters are Audrey. I like Max and
Yes.
those three are my favorite. Like
That
I love
that
them. Okay. Pick a dystopian movie. Sigh.
What does popular? Oh, hectic! That was fast. What does popular mean? I mean, unpopular,
like people. A lot of people like you, and I don't know. I'm going off of what popular is in the movies.
That's to like you, because a lot of the time, like in Mean Girls, the popular girls were not really liked.
That's the thing.
They were mean.
That's true.
They were just feared.
That's a fair point. But I guess like you have some form of power with the popularity in a way. Like people look to you for something, even if it's bad or toxic or whatever it is, but they want to be like you in some way or another.
I don't like popular.
Why? Pick a singer. Ooh la la. Side. I don't know what to pick. I'm gonna go with Mr. Fan Potion.
Ooh.
Pick a food. Can't I pick Owel? It's the same with the singer. Can't I pick Owel?
Exactly. Like, why isn't there that option of all food?
Okay. I'll go with pizza because I feel for pizza right now. Pick a heartthrob. Timothy Chalamet, man. Oh, I'm the main character.
Wait, I have no idea. Hold on, I haven't finished yet. This is kind of hard.
What did you pick for heartthrob, Reese?
Also Timothy Chalamet.
Facts. I don't know.
Eyes still into my soul.
I got love interest.
You got the love
Really?
interest? Yeah, must be nice. Must be nice.
I got main
What did you
character.
pick? Me too. Wait, show me what the love interest says, like the thing it says.
It says, I'm gonna send a screenshot. But it says you're the love interest. You're pretty chill and almost flawless. Relax. You give people hope and everyone loves you.
Real. That sounds like you.
Wrong. They weren't wrong.
Yeah.
And the picture is the scene from Love, Simon, where Simon and Blue, what's his name? I just remember his name was Blue on email when they kiss on the Ferris wheel. That's my favorite scene.
Oh man. That is so cute. So you're Blue basically.
Basically.
The main character one says, it says you're the main character, you're original, captivating, and you seem to have a very interesting life. Ha! Everyone's heads turn when you can keep being you. Interesting life.
No, but that actually does seem like you guys.
I don't have an interesting life. I sit on the couch and watch movies, and like I drink tea every day. Same thing.
You make it look nice then.
Yeah, I post and people think I haven't. I think it's just posting.
Social media.
There we go.
Interesting.
Okay, well, I feel that we should talk about how main character syndrome and that curl, that makes sense. That girl culture kind of link.
Also, I have a question for the two of you. Have you ever participated in either one of the forms of that girl or main character energy?
100%.
Yes, definitely.
100%.
Wait.
For me, it's
like
today. I get ready every morning. So far, every morning so far. It's almost like I've done this every day of my life. For school, and I get ready in an outfit that I think is nice and comfy and warm, but I still look like I can take a picture from any angle and I'll be fine. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of like I'm trying to do the fake it till you make it thing. I'm trying to feel like I belong where I am, because even though like imposter syndrome is not exactly what I would call it, but I feel as though everyone around me is just so smart and like dressed so nicely. So I kind of compete with that, but more for myself, because I feel
other people.
Yeah, because I feel like it's making me more confident in the long run.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So maybe not that girl, but main character. Sorry.
Makes sense. So I can say that I probably participate in both, and the way I do it specifically is with my outfits. Also, I have this thing where, like, it's even a joke at home, where I don't like to go out in an outfit where I'm going to see the same people and they see me in this outfit. I feel like that is very not something I like to, it's not something I like to do. And every time I go out, it's always, I don't know if you've seen that thing of Rihanna where she's, it's her acceptance speech at an award show, and she can beat me. She said she can beat me, but she cannot beat my outfit.
There we go.
That is basically the way that I partake in. I don't know if it's that girl culture or main character syndrome. I don't really post the aesthetic, morning routine, whatever things. I just like post the dancing TikToks and the funny whatever. But I definitely, when I dress to impress, and I'm not only impressing other people, I'm also impressing myself, because like I just like fashion type of thing. But it's just, that is me being the main character, is just dressing like the best and overdressing and then telling everybody else that they didn't come dressed accordingly.
Oh gosh. What about you, Leia?
Okay, I think I do participate in it, or like I have, but I haven't looked at it through like the angle of, oh, I'm doing that girl things, or I'm like the main character of my life, you know, of myself. I've never really looked at it that way, but if like if I say stuff, then it kind of fits into the category or the box of that. So I think the ways I participate and main character energy would probably be romanticizing my life and looking at things like it's in a movie. Like I'm watching it in slow motion, it's happening like a movie. So I like the lens in which I look at things would probably be along the lines of that. And that girl, I do yoga for 10 minutes in the morning and I meditate for 10 minutes every morning. Also outfits. I was like both of you said, I like to feel good in my body, and I like to wear something that makes me feel comfortable but also makes me feel good in my skin. And there's items of clothing that help me do that. Also being creative, I think, in terms of that girl energy kind of helps me, especially on Instagram. I don't know why, but I really love like wearing something really pretty and like not to post on Instagram, but to sort of live my life and then have moments captured and expressing that in an artistic way on my make sense. So besides drinking a lot of water, I don't do that, and that girls do that, but I don't do that.
I feel like that's the thing. We all have our vices in it because we participate, but like I don't think we intentionally like do it as that.
Not intentionally to specifically do it for it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just more for ourselves. I do think it came at the right time though, the wave of that girl and main character trend, because I feel like everyone's mental health kind of took a downhill when COVID hit, right? So having this sort of thing where everyone's thinking about being productive and things like that, it was negative and positive.
Okay, so, normal.
Yeah, definitely.
Like being able to go to the gym is something that people couldn't do before, and being able to like, you know, go out for a healthy breakfast at a cafe or something, or to do yoga in a public place or whatever it is, like weren't things you were able to do, which can be healthy for you to start doing, but also toxic if you're on the extreme of it.
Yeah.
Which is why I like that people have posted you can be that girl with also like partying and eating pizza and ice cream and, you know, drinking and doing things that, you know, that are human.
Definitely.
I think it's gonna lose the fun of it though. Like it's fun to be that girl. Like even you see this pose screams that girl and whatever and all of that. It's gonna lose the fun, and then it's gonna be toxic, and you're gonna see people are gonna start hating on the trend. They're gonna start saying it's unattainable, which we all knew all along.
They already have.
And exactly, we knew it all along. We were well aware of the fact that this trend is not sustainable. It is a trend that's going to come and it's going to go. But the people who tried it and
yourself, so like
yes,
if you're happy like with your healthy balance of things and you're exercising and like, you got into the trend, but now like it's not for the trend, it's like a part of your lifestyle or an aspect of it and not the entire thing. You're not your entire lifestyle, but an aspect of it. Then you should continue doing it whether or not it's a trend or not, because taking care of yourself is a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
And it goes both ways. You can take care of yourself by going to the gym, and you can take care of yourself by sitting on your bed, eating a whole tub of ice cream and watching Gossip Girl or Euphoria, like it's not exclusive to one thing.
Exactly. I
very
completely
true.
agree.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. You have to listen to what your
Gosh.
body and your soul needs.
We should just title this episode Balance, because that was basically everything that it comes down to. Balance.
Yeah.
Moral of the
Yeah.
story, everyone, balance.
Balance.
Oh,
That was a good episode.
I agree. That was definitely on point.
Story
with us.
time. Yeah. So
Reese, you cutting off a
have
bit?
time for a question, everybody.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having load shedding right now, so my Wi-Fi might be a bit
Ooh.
iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So do we have time for the one question everybody's afraid to ask?
Oh yeah, we can do that. I completely forgot about that. Yes, we can do that.
Okay, so should we?
Do you have questions? Because I don't have questions.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is about hair.
Oh, okay.
So obviously there's this whole there's a lot of misinformation about like cultural appropriation and all of these things. Everybody's becoming more aware of it now and all of that stuff. So what happens how do I phrase this in a politically correct way? See, why is it seen as a taboo thing for someone like me to do cornrows in my hair?
That's a really good question.
Wait, it cut out for me, so I have no idea. I haven't heard anything you've said. Can you please say the question again?
I asked, why is it seen as a taboo thing for me to do cornrows in my hair?
Oh, I actually watched an Instagram reel about that a little while ago, but it was because texture of hair. Like there are certain types of hair types that aren't fit to have cornrows, which will cause breakage and damage to the person's hair because it's not the right texture. I don't really necessarily call it a taboo thing, in my opinion at least, but I feel like if you want to do it, you can do it, but if you suffer with hair loss, that's also a choice that you made. And I feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't really judge anybody, but everybody's different. If someone did cornrows and they did it, it wouldn't really like if you think in a million years, nobody's really going to remember that, on Earth. So, I mean, why do I have to judge you for doing something with your own hair? But I also get I think it depends on the way the person is doing it. If they're doing it in a way that's like you can tell they're not being considerate, or they haven't done their research. They haven't put in effort to understand the history and the culture behind it. Then it's a little iffy. But if you've taken the time to do that, I feel like people are more than capable of having a conversation with you rather than saying no, you can't do this.
From my side, I agree with you. And from my side, I had this conversation with one of my acquaintances. She posted a picture on our group, right? And she had done braids. And all the people of color on the group were like, ma'am, Ma'am, please just hold on a second. Just hold on a second. And I was like, okay, guys, let's just hold on a second, because I feel that sometimes we are very quick to cancel people. So
or to judge them.
Yeah, to judge them. And so I was like, okay, guys, hold on. Let me just go and speak to her privately about why it's making us uncomfortable. So I said to her, I told her that basically the history of braids, like box braids and cornrows and all of those hairstyles that are originated in Africa. So they were all used. They basically originated in slavery. And the reason that people don't appreciate it when people like the Kim Kardashians and the other celebrities that I can't think of right now we're just against it, is because they are fetishizing something that we were judged so harshly for. So back then, obviously, it was if you had nappy hair or thicker hair, you had to do protective styles, and that was a protective style for. I was obviously, my history is completely different from African American history, but I guess we share some of that history in the sense that we all came from here, right? And we also had that hairstyle back here in Africa and things like that. So for African Americans, it was more that in the fields back in the days, they had to have protective styles while they were in the sun, or else their hair would just, like, shrinkage would happen, and that happens to all of us these days anyways. So it was just a protective style for that era, and now we just wear it as well. And when people like Kim Kardashian go on Instagram and post themselves in like 10 shades darker than what they actually are, and cornrows or braids, we're just like, excuse me, where's the love for us? Like, it was more you're trying to take away, you're trying to make yourself the ideal person because you chose, you picked pieces of us for yourself and called that beautiful. And that is what we have the problem with. So when people people who are lighter than me come to school or whatever in braids, and people are praising them like, oh my gosh, you look, oh my gosh, you're just amazing. This is such an amazing thing for you. We're just like, what?
It's eternal.
What?
It's eternal.
I'm the exact same. What? Like, it's more like, why are you getting praise for something that we've been doing forever? It's and you know Amanda Stenberg?
Yes.
So she wrote a song called Stop Cash Cropping on My Cornrows. And that was basically about slavery and also cultural appropriation. So cash cropping obviously is taking money on my cornrows. And that was obviously alluding to in the fields, them picking corn and things like that. Yeah. So stop cash cropping on my cornrows. And it's exactly that. I feel that people that know the history, I just think, why are you doing it? That's my thought. Why? What was your intention when you're doing it? Because I know
intention is very important.
That's the thing. Intention is so important for me, because you can't judge somebody off the bat and just say, oh, they're culturally
Doing
appropriate.
this, when you don't know
Yeah.
their intention. Like,
Exactly. So
maybe they had spoken to a person beforehand and like they spoke about the culture, they had a conversation like, wow, this is beautiful, and their interpretation is a way to celebrate that, not to harm. So you have to have conversations with people. Like maybe you're thinking about doing cornrows or braids or whatever you want to do, but maybe have a conversation with your friends that know more about the culture than you do before you do that, and ask them how they feel, because those are people that are part of your life that are going to see that. And if they have a problem, obviously that's your friend and you should take that into your account first. And that's how it should work.
That's
I
definitely it.
agree. And one thing about like intention and whatever, I think there's a difference between intention and impact. So your intentions could be, I want to celebrate, Black history, Africa, whatever. You can be whatever race, whatever color, and you want to celebrate this thing, right? And obviously people won't take it that same way. Certain Black people won't take it that way because it's their culture. It was expected of them. It wasn't praised, or it's not a trend for them. It's sort of expected from them. So for them, it's not, it's about this person might be, they don't know, like you said, you can't judge off the bat. But the way it made me feel when I saw someone who didn't look like me with this hairstyle, it doesn't matter what the intention was. It made me feel a certain type of way. And if you're important in that person's life, then I think that, that should be a conversation. Obviously, if it's a stranger on the internet, don't like go bashing them. But the intention.
Yeah, because what they feel is still valid, regardless of like, because that impact you have that person is always going to be valid.
Yeah, there's also many different reasons. Lele asked, why do people do that? There's different reasons. So some people obviously they see a Black person with that hairstyle or with a type of hairstyle, and they're like, oh my goodness, that person looks amazing. And they won't maybe say that person looks amazing. They'll think it, and then they'll just say, I'm going to do that with my hair because I want to look as amazing as that person, And then they do it with their hair, and then they also don't understand that, like Leia said, hair textures. I know box braids on, like, I think it's 2A hair can sometimes cause serious hair loss. So I know that it's not always the ideal thing to do, but I also know that it's a protective style for people with thick and curly hair and whatever. Exactly. I make an example out of myself. I do. My mom does like box braids, like not with added hair on, but she does it with my own hair. Then she does box braids. She also does cornrows as well in my hair. And it's just because, sometimes I don't have time to deal with my hair. If it's a rough test week, I don't want to go to school looking like yesterday. So I have to do something with my hair, and I have to sort of manage it somehow, some way. And I'm not trying to appropriate the culture. It works for me. It might not work for someone else, but it works for me. And it's difficult to have these kinds of conversations when I know that those kind of hairstyles work for me. I'm not trying to do those hairstyles to be trendy. It's convenient for me. So it's like there's those lines, that weird gray area. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm not trying to explain the impact. I'm not trying to make you feel better if you feel a type of way. It's just like, I don't want to have to prove. Exactly. I don't want to have to prove that, like, look at my hair can do that, It's a bit weird.
That's
I feel like if you're from a different part of the world, and your hair can also have like different textures. And even if you're from a different race, that certain hairstyle can also help your hair. And if you have friends where, like, again with the culture, you have a conversation with them, be like, so my hair is like this texture, and I recently tried this, and it actually helps with my hair. And I just wanted to talk to you and see how you feel about that, because obviously you're an important person in my life, and I want to like have a conversation with you about it first, because obviously you're going to impact people around you. If it's on social media, it's different. Like if someone's going to bash you, that's okay. They don't know the conversation you had with the people around you that you have impact in your real life. You can say, I'm sorry you feel that way, or DM them and say, this is my intention. I've spoken to friends about the culture. I'm sorry you feel that way. I never meant to harm you in any certain way. Or just express that to them if you want to. If you don't have to. Because I don't feel like everyone has to validate themselves on the internet. But as long as like the people in your life that you're really impacting, there's a conversation that you had, regardless of your race or your cultural background, or, you know, especially if it's something that can help you in your hair.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of looking at it, because yeah, there's a question I'm gonna ask, right? I don't know how to ask it again. And I think there was like not a trend, but it was a conversation that people were having about colored culture, right? And I was like wondering, my thing, so for me, Black people and coloreds aren't too far apart.
Yeah.
And I guess you can't really say that about everyone, because some people disagree. Like there's just a far history with all people of color, right? And so when you say things like it works for your hair, for me, I understand, I get that, because your hair texture is different from a white girl, right?
Yeah.
The average white girl.
Yes, the average white girl, yes. So for me, it's like the line is just so blurred. I don't know. I can't even.
It's not very black and white, which makes it more
isn't.
I think the best way forward is what Leía said, is talk to the people who are around you, who are going to see that, who you care about, who care about you, whose feelings matter to you, your feelings matter to them. Talk to those people about it, because the people on the internet and the people in the room over and the outside world and whatever, when you're walking in the mall, the people who are throwing eyes at you, those people don't matter because they didn't see the background. Their feelings matter. We are not trying to invalidate their feelings. Their feelings matter because there's a reason why it made them feel that kind of way, and that's got to do with their own background. But those people do not matter as much as the people you had the conversation with, the people who see you every day, the people you interact with on a daily basis. You spoke to them about it, and you got the sort of green card, or to a middle ground, or an understanding of, this is what I want to do, this is why I want to do it, how does that make you feel? It's basically any life. It's hair, but it's like it cuts so deep sometimes. And you know, somebody, it's not important to everybody. So some people just be like, oh, it's hair. You know, what are you trying to like make a big deal out of hair for? But then other people really care so strongly about it, and we have to manage everybody's expectations and just make sure that nobody's deeply offended. And if they are offended, you have to then see to that, depending on who they are in relation to who you are, and that be that.
And also, like, they're deeply offended and it's somebody that's in your life, you have to like think, do I need this hairstyle that much? Or is this person, am I offending this person? Does that matter more? Does what they told me about their background and their culture and the way that they feel matter more than the hair? Because, you know, if you're a white girl and you want to do it, your hair isn't really dependent on this hairstyle. If you want, you can just do normal pigtails and move on with life. You know, it's still really cute and pretty, and you can still feel confident in yourself. It doesn't take away any aspects of you compared to how it can impact somebody in your life, you know, and how that can make them feel, especially, you know, like if you haven't taken the time to understand the history or the background of what you're trying to do, and you have a conversation with this person and they explain it and you completely ignore that, it's not right, because then now what you're doing is even worse. Because you're still going forth with doing something that is making people in your life feel uncomfortable after they've expressed the reasons why and their cultural history to you, which they don't need to, are not obligated to do for you.
That's the thing.
That's when in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, and if you have a friend that's like, oh, it's just hair, you know, I don't care, then maybe speak to somebody else in your life. You know,
that is such a privilege. I don't know what it is, but I feel like ignorance is a privilege in some ways. Honestly. Like it puts you at such a disadvantage in life, in the grand scheme of things. But it's a privilege. I feel like being ignorant is such a privilege. You if you can just dismiss somebody's feelings like that and not feel any remorse, that is
what would they do with that?
Yeah,
like nice to exactly. Like, what do I do? what do I do when I see somebody like walking around in, well, I don't really have any grudges and access to crime, but what do I do if I see somebody in the store with like cornrows in their hair, and I'm an advocate for Black Lives Matter and all these things, and I'm like, your hair type is not like, first of all, I've got to look at their hair type, and then I've got to like assess that I'm not the best person to do all these things. But what do I do when the person says, oh, it's just a hairstyle, and then they move on with their lives, and I'm just like, okay,
like it's not just a hairstyle,
Yeah.
But they are ignorant about the fact that it's not just a hairstyle.
Exactly. Unfortunately, it's such a thing that at this point nobody can be ignorant to it, especially because hair isn't just hair, especially for Black people. It's not just hair.
Yeah, especially. Yeah, exactly. It's like I had this conversation with Oriental clothing in Asia. Like you go on to Shein or other websites, and you have Oriental clothing, but it's made to look more sexy, which takes away the tradition and the value of the outfit and the history behind those specific types of clothing that they have, which is another interesting conversation, because like you're not taking into account the culture or the history behind that specific garment and what it means to the people part of that culture. And now it's just like a sexy item of clothing that girls can wear to parties, It's like stripped from its background and its history because it's just a dress, right? Or whatever. It's the same thing.
That's the thing. Ignorance. We love to see it. I have to go on very soon, guys. I'm so sorry.
No. Okay. We can talk for hours and forever.
So thank you, guys. That was our topic for today. We touched on a lot of sensitive topics.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed this session. I definitely did. Once again, make sure to follow us, like, interact with us, tell us stories, ask us questions, follow us on all our social medias. If you go onto our Instagram at the.notso.adults podcast, you'll see all our social medias are listed. You can go listen to our podcast on any platform. And I just like to say thank you for listening and goodbye.
Bye.
Spent the night in a hospital bed 'cause you cut way too deep when you threw out your meds, and I got in a fight with my childhood best friend 'cause she told me you were doing it just as a threat. She was right, but I spent